Okay, so welcome everybody. Really lovely to have you all here and to, as I said just now, to share some information about some of the products we had at the Integrative and Personalised Medicine show last weekend, which many doctors, practitioners, holistic practitioners attended. And it's always difficult to give enough information. People ask lots of questions, but there's always so many people there that it's great to follow up afterwards. So this talk is really an attempt to answer a few more questions and follow up on some of the products we had there. And I've got lots of slides to show you. So we're going to start with this lovely quote by Nikola Tesla that I generally start with. If you want to discover the secrets of the universe, then think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Or in this case, if you want to discover the secrets of optimal health and long-lasting health, then think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. So this is what the talk is going to be about. Everything's made of energy. I'm sure you all know this. And that means that everything has its own resonant frequency. And if we can tap into this, we can make all sorts of wonderful changes and heal all sorts of different parts of the body. And we're going to do this with bioresonance, which simply means that the matching of vibration, the matching of frequencies. So let me explain a bit more about that. Forgive me if you know lots about bioresonance already. You may have come across this little experiment in a physics lesson whereby you or the teacher may have had two tuning forks that were exactly the same shape and size and pitch, and one of them was knocked against a tabletop and started ding, started sounding, but the other wasn't knocked, and yet magically, mysteriously, the second tuning fork began to sound and to join in with the first one. Now, this is an example of the matching of frequencies, one sound frequency being woken up and matching the sound frequency, in this case, of the first tuning fork. And this generally is a kind of universal law, like attracts like. I would say when you have two beings together, whichever has the strongest frequency will affect the one with the weaker frequency. So as a really simple example, this is one I often give because I find it so powerful, is that if you go into a room and there's somebody in that room who is very, very depressed and unhappy, or equally totally in love or totally over the moon, they've just won the lottery, and you go and sit next to them, within a very short space of time, you will begin to feel yourself that heaviness, that depression, or that ecstatic excitement, or that kind of swoony falling in love. But whatever the energy of that person is, you will start picking up on it and feeling what they're feeling. Because one person has got a very strong emotion and the other's picking up on that. And it's the same with the tuning forks here. So we can use this in terms of our health. We can take the same principle and we can say, okay, just like the tuning fork, when it's tinged, each healthy organ, each healthy part of our body has its own frequency of electromagnetic oscillations. So here we see a representation of the heart, nice strong frequency coming from the heart, the stomach, the intestine. However, if we are stressed, if we are overworked, if we are tired, if we are full of parasites or toxins, if we pick up a bug, a microorganism of some sort, then our healthy, strong frequencies will be affected. And as they become affected and weakened, so our organs begin to become depleted, and we might start experiencing anything from fatigue to symptoms to all sorts of bits and pieces. So we'll come back to that in a minute, because the good news when you think about bioresonance is that science has proven that a low pulsating electromagnetic field has one really main, powerful, important effect, and that is that it stimulates cells. And so if we can use this phenomena, we can set into play a chain of processes that can improve our health. And the brilliant thing is that not only can we get to the root cause of a disease by using frequency, we can also do that without having side effects, without adding toxic load. And so one of the things that bioresonance is known for is actually getting here to the root cause of a condition rather than just treating the symptoms, which is one of the things more commonly that allopathic medicine will do. So if somebody is tired, if their healthy frequencies have become weakened and their organs have become depleted and they start feeling signs of ill health, a lot of people will go off to the doctor and here be given drugs of some sort, which might be highly appropriate. I'm not saying there's not a place for drugs, but most medicines, I would probably say all medicines, will leave some sort of toxic trace in the body. They're going to stress the liver, they're going to have side effects. Then commonly we'll need more drugs for the side effects and they'll have more side effects. And so or there can be quite a negative downward spiral if we're just working with drugs to improve our health. Whereas if we can work with bioresonance, and here's an example of a little bioresonance device, we can use frequency to help build up and strengthen the body, which is completely harmless and there's no toxic load, as I said. So this is a really potent, safe way of creating health. So the company that I like to work with, and it's the company Deta Elis, we had their products on my Bioresonance GB stall at the IPM show, has created 3 mini pocket-sized devices for healing. Conventionally and traditionally, often when people are treated with bioresonance, they will go to a clinic, sit connected up to some bioresonance device and have to spend an hour or two and maybe go there 2, 3, 4 times a week to have their treatment. So what Deta Elis have done, if they said, wouldn't it be great if we could be treated and at the same time be getting on with our daily life? So they've created these mini devices. If I put one against my hand, you can get an idea of how small it is. They're very lightweight and they're very easy to pop in a pocket or a sock or in a bra or in a mobile phone holder or to hang around your neck. And this company says, well, if we want to heal optimally, we need to both energize our cells so we have the energy to heal. We need to de-stress the body. We need to harmonize our psycho-emotional state so that we're not telling ourselves we're filling ourselves with lots of negative thought forms that might manifest in the body at the same time as trying to heal. They say we need to spring clean. We need to get rid of all the toxins and all the rubbish, the internal rubbish, and we need to build up, strengthen, and restore our cells and our organs. So we need all 3. We need these 3 pieces of work to be happening. And so they created these 3 devices that each address one of these processes. 3 devices because each of these processes work with a different form of frequency. So the device, which we call the rhythm device because it calibrates the healthy rhythms of the body, works with harmonic frequencies. They're very gentle and they're basically reflecting the frequencies of our cells and our organs back into us. So this will do the work of strengthening, restoring, building up and reminding the body how to be well. The device in the middle here is called the Deta AP, is the stronger device which works on destroying and eliminating, so detoxing from the body, all forms of toxins and pathogens, microorganisms, all the stuff that we don't want that forces our health to be compromised and our organs to be weakened. And this little device is called the Energy 11 device, and it works with floating frequencies, solfeggio frequencies, combined over the top of each other. And this does the work of protecting us from radiation, energizing our cells, and lots of really good, important foundational work so that we're in a state where we can heal. So let's just have a look at each of these devices briefly and see how they can benefit us. Now, I'm just going to go back before we do that a few slides because what I didn't mention was here with the tuning forks that this work that the tuning fork is doing here of making a sound so the other tuning fork that hasn't been sounded creates a sound and matches it. This is the work that we can do with the devices I've just shown you. So this little device, which I'll talk about in a minute, the rhythm device, is in this illustration playing the frequency of an organ that has been depleted in this person. So if we go back, oh, where is it? I'll find it in a minute. If this person had organs that were a little bit depleted, and we played the frequencies of these organs with this device, like the tuning fork here, the frequency would come into the person's body and their organs would effectively remember. They would hear, they would feel, they would pick up and absorb their own healthy frequency and begin to remember how to hold that for themselves. And the body would gradually strengthen over a number of days and weeks, maybe even months, to come back into a stronger state of functioning. So this is the way we're working in a nutshell with these devices. So briefly, let's look at the energy device. It has 11 foundational programs, and it's very, very useful for restoring lost energy. A lot of people use this when they've been ill, they're feeling depleted, they're feeling energyless, or when people have had a chronic virus or condition, chronic fatigue, something like that. This can be really useful to re-energize their body and also to de-stress the body, and in doing so to boost the immune system. It also protects from Wi-Fi and 5G, which is incredibly important in this day and age. And it has also the effect to shield us from picking up on other people's negative energies. So very useful if you're a practitioner of some sort. These are the programs that it has. They've got names that more or less explain what they do. There's this wonderful program, Anti-Aging, which is a new program they've just added for promoting tissue regeneration and youthfulness and vitality. The longevity program protects our DNA from damage. The abundance program and the two programs beneath it are to harmonize our mindset in relation to different aspects of life. And then we have some programs for de-stressing the body, harmony and inner peace, and a shorter and a longer program for energizing our cells. And all of these programs work through the combination of solfeggio frequencies, which are healing frequencies proven to bring about different qualities within the body and also to stimulate different energy centers within the spine. So these are really important frequencies. Here's an example of some of the things they do. 174 hertz has been proven to relieve pain and stress. 285 hertz to heal tissue and organs. 417 been said to remove negativity from the mind. 528 repairs the DNA and brings about positive transformations health-wise, and so on and so forth. So in combining these frequencies over the top of each other, the company Deta Elis, who created this device, have been able to create programs like these here. And I have to say, having used this for quite a few years now, I find it absolutely invaluable. And I've seen many other people really thrive with this little device. So it's working with solfeggio frequencies, but it's creating physiological change. And one of the changes is, as I've already said, that it helps our cells to stop losing energy. If you think of our cells a bit like a bucket with holes in that we're trying to fill with water, the water would keep leaking out. So it metaphorically plugs the hole in the bucket so that our cells can begin to fill up and hold and maintain the energy that they create rather than losing it. And that's really important because if our cells electrical voltage wise drop to below the -70 to -110 millivolts, which is where they're working optimally, then we can enter into different degenerative stages and chronic illness, which obviously we want to avoid. So using the energy device is really going to help with optimal functioning and optimal energy levels. It's also going to help with protecting the body from all the different forms of radiation that are around in this day and age, which can be so detrimental. And this is just a little video showing, it's a minute or a minute and a half, I think, long, showing Wi-Fi being emitted by this tablet. And you're going to see on this little meter reading device figures here. So when we start the video, there's a lot of Wi-Fi coming out of the tablet, and it's reading here at the moment 894. It's going to go up to 1,000. And then the energy device will come in on 2 separate occasions, and the figures will move down to 0. So let's just watch this. There's some German commentary, I'm afraid. So there you can see it's gone to 0. So then the numbers come up again because the energy device has gone and the Wi-Fi is being registered. And then it's going to come back again in a second. So here we go. And the numbers go down to 0 again. So moving on, that was just a quick demo of the energy device at work. A couple of research projects. One, I don't know the name of it, I'm afraid, but it was done a few years ago in Russia, whereby the emergency services were given energy devices to put on the chest of stroke patients and patients who've had a heart attack. So when they were called out to patients with those rather serious emergencies, the energy device was put on them until they got to hospital and were seen. And the result was that there was an 80% increase in the survival rates of those patients who had the energy device on them, which is quite amazing. So it really is a powerful little device. There's also been a very big clinical trial research project that was done again in Russia at the Monarchy Hospital, and you can download the full details of this on my website. There's lots and lots of slides and lots of data, but it was looking at the effect of blood under the influence of the energy device and also the other 2 devices that I'm going to talk about. And the results, I'm not going to go through the whole research because that's a whole talk in itself, but they showed that all 3 devices that I mentioned a few minutes ago consistently gave positive results in many different forms of severe pathology. And they noted here that the DeVita energy device was particularly notable for its efficiency. And they advised that these devices were used in the treatments of patients with any type of pathology because they were so effective. So again, that's rather lovely to have this confirmed with a clinical trial, and you can read about that if you're interested. So moving on from the little mini energy device to a device, same shape and size, but it's the AP device. It's the detox device. And this is a really important device because all of us, however careful we are, however much organic food we eat, however well we look after ourselves, we're still going to be subject to picking up toxins or bugs, microorganisms, different sorts. So it's really important to have a way to get rid of those things so that we can stay as vibrant and strong in our health as possible. So the AP, the DeVita AP, is like a mini Rife machine. It's based on the work of Dr. Royal Raymond Rife. And you probably know Rife many years ago discovered that each microorganism had its own resonant frequency. And that if that frequency could be reproduced through an external device like this AP device and played back into the body or into the microorganism, in this case we're presuming the microorganism is inside a person's body, then if we played it in at a slightly amplified rate, so a bit like turning the volume up on the radio, it would have the effect of targeting that one microorganism and destroying it without affecting any surrounding tissues. So a phenomenal piece of research, amazing discoveries. And Rife started isolating the different frequencies of different microorganisms. But of course, there's thousands of microorganisms, and he only managed to isolate some of them. And people who followed Rife continued, many scientists have continued his work. So now we can download from the internet or find easily in books and online hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of frequencies for different microorganisms and toxins. So this device here has roughly 2,500 programs for ridding the body of all the things we don't like. And an example of it working is this. Let's imagine the glass in this picture is a microorganism, something we want to get rid of. The glass or the microorganism will have its own resonant frequency. If a note were to be sung that had the same resonant frequency as the glass, pretending to be the microorganism, for most people singing that note, nothing had happened. But if we brought in an opera singer and the opera singer sang that same note, it would effectively be amplified, it would be stronger. So this would happen, the glass would shatter. And that's what happens with the microorganism, that when its own frequency is played into it at a slightly stronger rate, an amplified rate, it will shatter. Which is brilliant because it means we can target viruses, bacteria, mold, fungi, toxins of different sorts, all sorts of things, and kill them off and eliminate them from the body without causing any harm. So let's just look at that happening in real time. This again, it's another minute and a half, a little video showing some single cell organelles swimming around on a slide under a microscope. The AP that we can't see is being played at the side with the same frequency of those microorganisms, and you will see them gradually die off. So let's just see. This is 80 times magnified. So here they are swimming around. And when the square wave frequencies of the AP are sent into the body or into these little creatures, it has the effect of making them shake. So you can see they're beginning to kind of wobble and shake on the spot. So this is the effect of the frequency of the microorganism with its own frequency. So we've got double the amount of frequency causing a vibration, a bit like an earthquake, if you like. And you can see here, this one's beginning to explode. This one's exploding. This one's exploding now. And one by one, we're going to see them. There's one going down there, kind of spilling their guts. So if you had a huge, let's say, candida overgrowth in your body, you could play the frequency for candida. And if you did that every day, each day it would kill off some of that candida until after maybe 3 months or so of doing it, you would be rid of the candida. So you can see here, they're all becoming still. They've all exploded. And the frequencies that we would play with the frequency of this microorganism would be then to break down the waste products, open up the lymphatic drainage pathways and flush them out so there's nothing left in the body. So this is the last spectacular little single cell organelle here. It's beginning to roll and give up the ghost. And here we go. It's exploding and dying off. Good. So let's look at a few of the things that the AP device can brilliantly eliminate. So pesticides, chemicals, environmental toxins, drug residues sitting in the liver. So if you've been on chemotherapy, it's really important to relieve the liver from all those chemotherapy residues so that they don't spill over and create something more nasty. Chemicals from household toxins or all those shampoos and skin creams and things that we use, these are all quite harmful to the body, so we can get rid of them with the AP. And similarly, heavy metals, it's very, very easy to get rid of heavy metals, and it's very, very difficult to get rid of them by any other means because the molecular structure is not broken down when you just take binders and chelators and some of the other things you can do to get rid of heavy metals. With the AP, it's very easy. We can get rid of heavy metals, we can get rid of mold and fungi, mycotoxins, viruses, parasites, worms, and there's many different forms of microorganisms that we can work with and eliminate with the AP. And there's been lots of clinical trials to prove this. I like to know that there's some evidence behind the things that I'm recommending. So again, in Russia, there were trials made, over 173 of them with thousands of patients. And again, you can look at the research on my website on the research page. But here's just a few readings. So 96% of parasites were eradicated, 92% of Helicobacter pylori, 90% of all types of hepatitis. So I think these are really good uh, success rates. And of course, there's many other successes if you choose to read the research. So here's just a few pieces of pictorial evidence. Here are some listeria cells on slides before using the AP and after. This is only after two, I think, yes, two uses of the AP, so it's not very much. What else have we got? Staphylococcus, so before, and then again just after two activations with the AP. Obviously, if the AP continued to be used, the slides would end up completely clear. Here we've got E. coli. All the cells are completely destroyed here. And here we've got a few pictures of some skin conditions that the AP has successfully treated. So this was herpes virus. You can see before and after here. So by eliminating the herpes virus with the AP, we had these changes. This is an infection, skin infection that happened to a child when their immune system crashed. I don't quite know the details of what happened there, but you can see how beautifully the skin healed up using the AP. And this was a staphylococcus infection. Again, you can see before and after. This was a brain tumor which was inoperable. I think all of the devices were used and it took a year and a half. And the doctors were scratching their head because it disappeared. So that was rather a lovely success story. So there's many other pictures I could show you, but I'm going to move on because we have the third little device, which again looks the same. And this is the device for optimizing health. So we've energized ourselves, we've got rid of the nasties, and at the same time, we want to support our organs. We want to strengthen and remind our organs and cells how to work best. And this is particularly important, not just for general strengthening, but if we've had toxins, microorganisms living within us for years or decades, our bodies will have compromised. And once we get rid of those microorganisms, we might not remember how to bounce back. It's also the case that 25% of people, if they've had certain viruses, they can not fully recover. It can take a long time. They can have post-viral fatigue, or they can even have damage to certain organs. So it's really important to pick up and nurture and strengthen our organs if we've been ill or if we've had a chronic infection with a set of toxins or microorganisms. And this is the device to do that, the Rhythm device. So here we go. Here are the healthy frequencies of the body. And here is a body that has become depleted and weakened through stress, through bugs, through toxins or whatever. And here we bring in the Rhythm device and we play the healthy frequencies of whichever organs have been weakened and depleted. We remind them of what their healthy frequency is, and gradually those organs remember and they join in and they begin to oscillate with their own healthy frequencies until they come back to health. And again, this is safe to use. There's no side effects. You can use this with children, babies, adults, elderly people, even with animals. So it's a very safe way of nursing your body back to good health. So as an example here, if somebody had a heart that was under stress and a little bit depleted, the healthy frequency of the heart is, I believe, 7.83 hertz. If we could play 7.83 hertz with the Rhythm device, it would remind the heart how to become strong again and how to function optimally. So it recalibrates the healthy rhythms. So different slide here, because people say, well, how do I know which programs to use? Good question. And in answer to that, there are various ways that you can use these devices. So some people will use the programs that are loaded onto the device that you can see on the screen. There's lots of different programs, and they might be called things like anti-cold or stop headache or recovery from injuries or stop candida. So there's a lot of programs that you can use for self-treatment, and some people will dip into the device. I had someone the other day was going, they were on a long haul flight traveling to the other side of the world, and they said, I get real travel sickness and jet lag. Can I use the devices? And I said, yes, just play the program for jet lag and play the program for travel sickness. And they did, and it really helped. So you can dip into them, use them like a first aid tool. Many people, however, have got specific things they want to work on. They've got aches and pains or tirednesses or symptoms of some sort. So whilst we can work with those issues, it's really useful to, first of all, do a 4 month general detox, general rebalancing, general strengthening. And the company Deta Elis have put together this protocol, which you can again download from my website, which tells you which device to use at which time of day with which programs for the first month, the second, the third, and the fourth month. And this is something that would benefit everyone and anyone to do because it's working on the major organs, the major body systems to build them up and strengthen them. It's working on detoxing and cleansing the body of the most frequently found viruses and bacteria and mold and fungi and this sort of thing, parasites. It's doing a really good detox. It's also energizing the cells of the body and harmonizing our cells. So this is a good way of working to self-treat for the first 4 months. And then after that, the company have put together a similar set of 4 month protocols with different themes. So if what you want to work on is connected to the heart and the circulatory system, you can work through this 4 month protocol. Or if you've got digestive issues, you can then work through this digestive protocol and so on and so forth. So you can self-treat by dipping into the programs in the devices or by following either this initial protocol or one of these themed protocols. The other way you can work with these is to come and have a scan. And if you were at the IPM show, you will have met this guy. He's called Dr. Yanis. Well, we call him Dr. Yanis. He's actually Dr. Yanis Anagnostopoulou or some name like that I find almost impossible to pronounce. And he is one of the world's leading experts in bioelectromagnetic medicine. And he comes over to the south of England every 3 months and he gives diagnostic scans on this device here that I'll be talking about tomorrow. He's a doctor, a homeopath, a naturopath, he's an ozone therapist, and a bioresonance expert. So he will give fully comprehensive diagnostic scans and then tailor make treatment programs for people that he will load up onto the device or the devices that you need. And that's the great thing about these devices. They come with a lot of self-treatment programs, but you can also connect the device to a computer and open up a library of medical programs and tailor make programs from those, depending on what a client needs. And you can upload 50 tailor-made programs to the Ritum and the detox device, the AP device. So this is a possibility. Come and have a scan. I will talk more about this tomorrow in my talk about how readings are found through a probe on the finger with frequencies that are sent through the probe into the client's body and give a reading on this very simple looking window, but that has the ability to give lots and lots of different types of information when you know how to read it. Dr. Yanis, it's worth mentioning, also runs trainings to both teach people to use the diagnostic scanners and to use all the treatment devices that we have, giving certificates to use for insurance or to have in your clinic, teaching everything that you need to know about bioresonance, about, as I say, treating, about diagnosing, about the protocols you might want to use for different microorganisms and different conditions. So it's a fascinating training. And the next one's coming up at the beginning of October. So if you're interested in training, we only have one training a year. And I don't know if there'll be another one with Dr. Yanis or not. He kind of commits a year at a time. So this is an absolutely brilliant training to come on to learn a huge wealth of information about bioresonance and how to diagnose, how to treat, yeah, and how a lot about the processes of healing as well. So I'm just going to move on to a few other devices and just touch on them because we had quite a few devices on our stand and different people asked about different things. So this is another bioresonance device. What I've talked about so far were bioresonance devices working with exogenous bioresonance. That means we play a frequency from the outside of the body into the body. But this little device here, so just a little bit bigger than the devices I've shown you, this works with endogenous bioresonance therapy. And in a nutshell, this has a fantastic effect on reducing stress, reducing inflammation in the body, deactivating and neutralizing pathogens, and boosting the immune system. It's nicknamed the inflammation quencher because it works so powerfully to reduce inflammation and to also equalize the energy in the body. So if we had an inflammation somewhere, we'd have a lot of energy in that part of the body and we might have depleted energy in other areas. So as the inflammation is brought down, the device also spreads and evens out the energy throughout the whole body, which is one of the reasons people feel quite calm when they've worked with this. It's a great device to use in the evening. And it basically, what it does in a nutshell is you have your feet on two metal plates and you hold onto two metal cylinders with your hands, like in this picture. And the device will take the frequencies that are in your body. It will divide them into the harmonious frequencies that belong to your body, your cells and organs, and into the pathological frequencies that belong to microorganisms and toxins and bugs, etc. It will then take those pathological disharmonious frequencies and turn them upside down. That's what you see happening here. It will invert them, creating an exact mirror image, which has the effect of cancelling out and neutralizing those frequencies. So your body is freed up. It can work because it isn't under the mercy of all those microorganisms doing their stuff. This has the effect of boosting the immune system. And of course, I've said the pathological frequencies are neutralized. The healthy frequencies that belong in you are then boosted and sent back into your body. So hence your immune system is boosted. Your energy is evened out and the body has a chance to begin restoring and healing. And if you do that a couple of times a week, it's a good way of preventing picking up bugs. If you have a chronic condition or a chronic inflammatory condition, you can use it every day. Or if you happen to pick up a cold or a flu or something, if you immediately use the BRT, you can do a double session. With a bit of luck, you'll cancel that out and halt it in its tracks. So I'll be giving a talk about this in a few weeks as well. But do ask me if you want to know more about this. It's an absolutely fabulous device, easy for home use. Also a great device to use in a clinic and book people in for sessions to reduce inflammation or to boost them in the winter, boost the immune system, cancel out bugs, that sort of thing. Now, another device we had on the stand that quite a few people asked about is called the DeVita Cosmo 50. It's a funny old name. And this has just been upgraded. It's a brand new device. It used to be called the Cosmo 20 because it had 20 programs. And 30 new programs have been added. The technology's been upgraded. So this new device is quite unique in that it firstly is portable again. It's very small. You can see the size in this woman's hands, but it combines bioresonance therapy with quantum light therapy. It has an effect on many different parts of the body. So some of the bioresonance programs in this device can also be found on the RITM device, the restorative device. But in this case, it's combining them with quantum light. So whilst you can play programs to support your thyroid or help with your digestion and those sorts of things, a lot of people buy this because it has a lot of good effects on the skin. So a lot of women, especially as they get towards menopause or beyond, will buy this because it has a lot of skin programs that have anti-aging effects for sort of eliminating or plumping up wrinkles and toning the face and this sort of thing. It's also very good if you've got a skin condition. So if people have eczema or psoriasis or something like this, people will often work with this device. Um, Yes, by using bioresonance at the same time as quantum light, we can work kind of from the outside in and from the inside out. So it's really lovely to have the option to have combination therapies working together. Now, there is a list that gives you all the options and tells you what they do. But before I get on to that, one of the ways that we can use this device, if you're not using it directly on an eczema or irritation or wound that needs healing, it's used via zones on the face, the hands, and the feet. Now, you probably know about reflexology and the way in which the feet are divided up into zones. And when those zones are stimulated, it's said to stimulate different parts of the body, different organs in the body. The same is true of the face. We have zones called Zakarin-Ged zones that Chinese practitioners sometimes work with. And what they've found is that if you stimulate with a spectrum of light, if you stimulate these particular zones, it will have an effect on the associated organs. So the forehead here is related to the small intestine, the lungs down here. So when you buy this device, you have various maps and different pictures showing you which zones to work on in combination with which bioresonance program. Um, it's a beautiful therapy device, very, very easy to use, and is very effective, combining, as I say, the four spectral primary colours of light in these different reflex zones. Each colour of light has a particular unique frequency and will have a different effect on the body, quite apart from the different zones having a different effect on the body. So we can use different combinations of colours, of light colour that will affect different parts of the body to heal and will get the energy flowing through the body. They will adjust it, they will correct it, harmonise it, etc. So this is a fun device to work with. This is an example of one program. It's called Skin Without Wrinkles, and it's one of those programs that often women like to work with to increase their appearance of youthfulness and vitality and to slow down aging processes within the skin. It's 20 minutes long. And with this program, you would have a little picture. This is the picture that comes with it, showing you how to move this quantum light handheld device, moving it up each side of your neck slowly, moving it from the chin out and up, and so on and so forth. So this is a program where you actually use the light device on your entire face, not just one zone. Meanwhile, the box of tricks here, the bioresonance part, you sit on ideally your tummy or your solar plexus. You have somewhere on your body with the back of it facing your body because that's where the antennae is. So this is just an example of one of the programs. You will receive instructions that come with all sorts of uh, difficult to see because it's so small, but all sorts of little illustrations as to which part of the body or the face to use the light unit. So again, happy to talk more about that another time. Do ask me if you're interested, but it's a fantastic little device to have. And I've just listed up a few of the kind of anti-aging type programs because so many people ask about them. So just as an example, we've got one called skincare. Some of the names are easy to understand. Some are a little odd because they're translated from other languages. So Nail Master is obviously a nail program. tissue respiration, facial tone. This is a really important program to tone up the face and to um, um, yeah, to kind of strengthen the collagen in the face. Anti-hair loss. Most of these are self-explanatory. So this is just an example of a few of the 50 programs with this device. So let's move on from frequency just briefly, because we had a couple of other products that people asked a lot about at the show. And one of them was the Diaqua bottle, which Deta Elis, the company I work with, have created as a support product, but also a standalone product. Many people, when they're working with frequency, they need help drinking water because a lot of people don't drink enough. And we need to drink a lot of water if we're working with frequency to ensure that the frequency can freely move around the body to every cell, and also to ensure that the toxins are flushed out. So they created this 3-in-1 portable bottle that's super easy to use, which creates two different strengths of hydrogen. It also creates ozone, so hydrogen water and ozone water. And it also turns into a nebulizer, so you can inhale pure molecular hydrogen. So some of the reasons that this is important are, if we're trying to improve our health, and particularly if we're working with bioresonance to improve our health, we want to help support the detox process. We want to support the energizing of our cells. And if people have been ill for a while, often those processes are a little bit sluggish. They're not used to detoxing. Their cells might not have enough energy. They might be tired. They might be brain foggy. So the hydrogen water comes in really handy. It has some key points I want to mention here. It removes free radicals from the body. It reduces oxidative stress. It slows down cellular degeneration and speeds up cellular regeneration. So all the things we want. It enhances neurological healing, so brain tissue healing, and it promotes detoxification. Now, these are just a very few of the things that hydrogen does. But one of the things that is so, so important, and a lot of people comment on how different they look or how different they feel when they drink hydrogen water, is because of the effect hydrogen has on free radicals. Hydrogen is a very powerful antioxidant, and it's, I believe, the smallest antioxidant, if not one of them, in existence. So it can easily penetrate the blood-brain barrier. It can easily reach the center of our cells, the mitochondria of our cells. So all the time we're subjected to free radicals. We're constantly picking up free radicals, breathing them in, picking them up on our skin. There's many, many ways in which we become under the mercy of free radicals, even if we're super healthy. And free radicals are unstable atoms. Atoms have electrons circling around them, which are in pairs. So here's an atom, and there's a pair of electrons here. Here's a free radical, and you can see it's only got one atom circling around it. So what a free radical tries to do is it takes an atom from takes an electron from a healthy cell, and then that cell is no longer healthy, and it begins to wither, to degenerate, to oxidize, and we get signs of ill health. So the brilliant thing about hydrogen water, or hydrogen generally, is that it has spare electrons, and it can give an electron to the free radical to neutralize the free radical, so it doesn't have to affect our healthy cells. So that's a super, super, super important effect, because it stops the degeneration, it stops the dis-ease and the signs of aging from coming in. And it reduces oxidative stress. And this little experiment I found, I thought I'd mention. If you had an apple and you sliced it in half, it would begin to oxidize. So it would go brown. And over time, it would go brown, it would wrinkle up. If you put it in a glass of water, so if you cut the apple and put it straight in a glass of normal water, there'd be some oxidation, not as much, but you can still see it discoloring. But if you put it into a glass of hydrogen water, it would stay its normal pale colour. There wouldn't be any oxidation. There wouldn't be any wrinkling up. And this is because hydrogen is an antioxidant, and it again stops oxidative stress from taking place. So really important piece of kit to have. We can make 2 different strengths of hydrogen. So there's a 5-minute strength for everyday use. There's a 10-minute strength if you're feeling tired or you've just had a big workout, or you're feeling a little bit ill or you need a bit of a boost. We can make ozone water to wash your fruit and vegetables, for cleaning your kitchen work surfaces, for cleaning wounds, for using as a gargle or a mouthwash, and these sorts of things where you want some disinfecting properties. And with some of the attachments that come with the bottle, we can turn it into a nebulizer and breathe in molecular hydrogen. We can also, using some of the attachments that it comes with, take just this little base bit away on holiday or out for the day and attach it to a big bottle of mineral water and hydrogenate the entire bottle in one go. So if you want to take it on holiday, you don't have to take the whole glass bottle. You can just take the base, which makes it even more convenient. And these are just a few of the things that are proven to be affected by drinking hydrogen water. If you look online, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of clinical trials and research studies that have been done about the positive effects of hydrogen water. So these are just a few things like reducing tiredness, improving blood circulation, boosting immunity, improving skin health, anti-aging, helping with allergies, promoting gut health, joint mobility, and there's lots of positives. So why wouldn't you want to buy or to drink hydrogen water? That's my question. And of course, if you've got the mini devices, or one of them at least, you can program the water. You can restructure it and program it with frequencies from one of these mini devices. So that's a real plus as well. You could energize your water and drink energy-rich hydrogen water. And talking of energy, this is just the last thing I want to mention, because some of you will have sampled these tonics at our stall. We had them there for people to try. So again, not frequency products, but again, support products that Deta Elis make to support people and help people in their journey to improved health. And a lot of people who come and work with the mini devices will take these as well. So these are what we call smart cell liquid nutrition supplements. They are bottles of combinations of fruits and herbs and different natural substances. They're all organic, and they're combined together to give particular properties, particular effects within the body. They're designed as liquid nutrition as opposed to taking capsules or tablets that not everyone can swallow. They're safe for all ages to take, and they're highly absorbable. Smart cell nutrition, smart cell being immediately absorbable into the body, so you don't have to go through a conversion process to make use of these delixiers. They're called delixiers, like elixirs, but Deta Elis has made them, so delixiers. They're organic, they're sugar-free, they're easily absorbable. So let's just very briefly go through these. We have one called multi-energy, which, as the name suggests, is designed to give you energy and act as a general multivitamin. Very useful if you need a bit more energy, if you need a boost. We were drinking this at the show because we were there for very long hours, and it really kept us going very well. Relieves fatigue. It helps boost the immune system and just checks that you've got the basic vitamins and minerals that you need. So very useful. A lot of kids have this. It's absolutely delicious. In fact, people of all ages tend to have this as a go-to liquid supplement. Then we have another delixia that again energizes the body, but this is aimed more at people who have extra energy requirements, like sports people, and funnily enough, like elderly people who don't absorb things very well. This gives, as I say, sustained energy. It contributes to muscle growth and strength. It helps maintain normal blood glucose levels. It helps recovery after intense physical exercise. It promotes longevity. It strengthens the immune system. This has more B vitamins in than the multi-energy. The multi-energy is focusing more on vitamin D and other vitamins. There are some B vits in it, but top form has more, hence giving more energy. Then we have a really important elixir that lots of people buy when they're trying to get rid of the nasties from their body. It's called Detox, and it does just that. It's designed to support detoxification and revitalization of the body. It also has an anti-inflammatory effect, and it has a delicious kiwi fruit flavour. This is another delicious elixir that, again, women tend to really love. It's not that men can't drink these, but when women hit the kind of 50 mark, quite often they stock up on this elixir. It's a collagen boosting elixir, so it's helping strengthen connective tissue. It's helping keep health within our ligaments, our tendons, our joints, our skin. Preserving, again, the appearance of youth and vitality as far as possible. So this is very, very popular. Then we have a Delixia that's designed to help with people trying to address weight issues. So it's designed to help balance the metabolic processes, to help metabolize fat, to help rid the body of excess fluid, to increase digestion and these sorts of things. So that's often very popular with people who are working with weight issues. And then lastly, we have pH balance, which very simply does what the name suggests. It helps balances the acid alkaline environment within the body. Also increases our resistance to infections. It speeds up healing processes and tissue regeneration. It helps calm and eliminate the effects of stress. So generally, it's a really good tonic to take in, whether or not your pH is out of balance or not. So these work very well as standalone supplements. They also work very well in combination with using any of the frequency devices. So if somebody's working to detox certain toxins and microorganisms, but they've not done that before, their system might be sluggish, they could work with the detox elixir. If somebody's very energyless, they could add in the multi-energy, this sort of thing. So these are a few of the products. We did have others, but these are a few of the main ones. And there's lots of details about all of these on my website, bioresonancegb.com, as well as all the research and testimonies. There's tons of before and after pictures. There's some videos of Dr. Yanis talking about bioresonance. There's all the protocols I mentioned. There's lots and lots of information there. So let me come out of screen share and back to the screen. So that's a lot of me talking, and I thank you for your patience. And I hope that gives you a little bit of an insight into some of these amazing products that Deta Elis make. So thank you for your attention. I'm just going to stop the recording now.